Okay, now we are back live on Facebook. For those of you that followed me on Instagram, by the way, I attached the link to join to my Instagram right above your screen, so you can actually see a link. We did a test run right now, preparing for my Instagram live, which is going to be streaming on Monday at 9:30 with Michelle Jacobs, where we are going to be discussing a topic that most people will not feel comfortable talking about. The flyer is on my page, so you can go and check out that show that's going to be airing on Monday, but it will not be airing from my Facebook page as usual. It will be airing from my Instagram page. So most of you are not following me on Instagram. I am transitioning over to Instagram for a few reasons. Reason number one, Facebook is deleting all Facebook lives after 1 month. So after a month, the Facebook lives are getting deleted. That's a little bit inconvenient. So therefore, it's not a good idea to keep going with Facebook, even though I love, okay. So there we go. Even now, Facebook just cut me off to fix something on my end, just to make sure that I don't glitches. Okay, for the glitch. For those of you that are following me on Instagram, you will notice that the content that I produce on Instagram is actually very different. I try to make it very different than the content that I produce on Facebook. You don't see all the stuff, even though you think you see both things. No, there are things on my Instagram page that I do not show on Facebook. My Instagram page is more of an authentic me. I give you different fashion ideas, how to be modestly fashionable. I know there are different types of stories there. There are different types of reels there. So I highly encourage you, if you are not following me on Instagram, head on over, press follow, and you will be notified when I go live, when I have guests, when I do reels, when I do stories. Totally different type of a community there. Now tonight, why did I decide to come on live? What was the topic idea for tonight's live? So tonight I actually decided to come on live because there is a topic that I'm bumping into over and over and over again, and that is the topic of marriage and, unfortunately, divorce. I think marriage is a beautiful thing. Those that are happily married, I'm sure they feel so blessed. But we forget that not everyone, unfortunately, is happily married. There are people who are miserable in their marriages. There are people that are struggling in their marriages. There are people that don't even know where to turn, and they feel like they are in a cage and they have no idea how this is ever going to get better. And it's happening very, very frequently. How do I know this? Because I actually attend a lecture by a rabbi on Saturday. There's a lecture every Saturday at 5:30 in Rabbi Chaim's shul. And he talks about this topic. He first has a lecture for the women for an hour, and then he transitions over to the men for an hour. And he discusses this topic about marriage, about changing our character traits, about understanding each other, communicating, the nature of a woman, the nature of a man. Happens to be a very, very interesting topic. But he said something there that really made me think to myself, oh my God, is it really this bad for him to make such a statement? Because Rabbi Chaim is not going to just make a statement to make a statement. You know, this is not social media where you're saying things for clickbait, to be, you know, to get people's attention. No. He says, when I get invited to weddings in the past, I was excited, I was happy. Now, I go to my car and I'm actually feeling so sad. Why am I sad? I should be happy. He says, I'm feeling so sad because I sit in the car and I wonder to myself, when am I going to get the phone call from this couple telling me they have issues? He says, it's becoming so common. People are getting married, and within a few months of their marriages, they're having so many shalom bayit issues that I literally sit in my car and wonder, when is this couple going to call me with their problems. And this is what's very, very scary about the generation that we're living right now. And it's even more scary for the younger generation, because the older generation, yes, they also have problems. There are people that are getting divorced with children in their 40s, in their 50s, in their 60s. But I feel like that's always been around. You know, divorce has always been a thing. It's not like people never got divorced in the past. But nowadays, the rate of divorce and the rate of marriages is almost like a 50-50. And the young couples who are getting married, they are not prepared mentally to what it is to be married. Now, when you speak to a young person and you tell them that they have to prepare themselves, sometimes the answer you hear is, well, maybe I shouldn't get married. Maybe it's better that I stay single. Or what do I need marriage for? And that's where it becomes even more worrisome, because the younger generation is giving us this feedback that I rather stick to what I am right now. I rather continue the character traits I have right now. Why do I have to bother working on my personality? Then get married and have to worry about changing myself. So fine, marriage is not for me. What do I have to get married for? And this is what we all as parents have to work on, as individuals have to work on, understanding that in order for us to be happily married, we have to know our roles in the marriages. A woman's role as a woman, as a mother, as a daughter, as a wife, and a man's role as a husband, a son, a father. It's important to know when we have to seek for help, and very important to constantly having to educate ourselves in how to become better individuals. Now, we can read all the marriage books in the world, and I have one right over here that I'm going to read from in a few minutes. But if we don't implement what we read, and it goes in from one ear into another, we wasted our time. Same thing is the same concept when it comes to raising children. We can go to all the raising children lectures in the world, read all the books in the world, go to workshops, pay a lot of money. But if we don't implement what we're learning, and we don't internalize it, and we don't constantly review, it's not going to work. So the number one thing when it comes to being a good wife, husband, parent, there's a common denominator. What do our spouses need? And the same thing goes to our children. What do our children need the most? Let's see if you can answer. This question is really for the children. What do our children need the most? But it also is very important in trying to figure out our husband, our wife. Who can answer? What is the number one thing that is needed in a good, healthy marriage? I'm going to give you a minute to see who can get an answer. What is needed for a marriage to be healthy, strong, and solid? And there are many answers to this question, but I'm looking for one specific answer. And if we start with this one specific answer, the rest is going to come trickling down from this one answer. What are we missing in our marriages that when we are dating, we have so much of this, but then once we get married, this particular thing kind of dissipates. It's not existing like it once was. Who can answer this question? Let me hear your responses. While I'm waiting for you to respond, reminder, for those of you that are not following me on Instagram, I will be having a very, very interesting topic with Michelle Jacobs live on Instagram this Monday. The topic of the live is called Love, Sex, and Identity. Okay, that's going to be on Instagram. So that's why after you finish watching this live, click on the link that I shared on the beginning, on top of the screen. You're going to see a link and join my Instagram page. Otherwise, you will not see the live on Monday. So here we go. We have some responses. Communication. Bella, I agree with you 100%. Communication is very important in a marriage. Zalman says passion, patience. Oh, patience and attention. So you are very, very close. In 1 second, I'm going to tell you the answer. Rima says, let's see. It's going away. Wait. Don't go away. Rima says respecting each other. Absolutely, Rima. We must respect each other. Sarah says the same thing. Respect. Totally agree. Respect is very important. So far, I haven't gotten that one thing that I am looking for. Again, in my opinion, it begins with this, and then everything else will follow. Laura says communication and shalom bayit. Well, communication is going to lead to shalom bayit, yes. Mariam says supporting and helping each other. Definitely agree. Supporting one another is very important. And finally, yay, Milana. Milana got it on the spot. My answer, and it's not my answer, it was actually an answer by Rabbi Wallerstein, who passed away. He says we were talking about the what do children need the most, and if we consider the same thing in a healthy marriage, Milana got it right. Time. We're going to start off with time, and then everything else is going to trickle down. When we are dating, when we are going out, what's happening? Oh, we cannot stay without each other for even 5 minutes. It's 6 in the morning. Oh, you hang up first. No, you hang up first. You hang up first. No, you hang up first. We are so obsessed with each other. We are calling. We take such good care of ourselves. We look the best. We are on the best behavior possible. And then what happens? We get married, and slowly, we are not there for each other mentally and emotionally. We are not there the way that we once were when we were dating our husband and wife. So to me, based on the lecture that I heard, the number one thing that we have to start off with before anything else is time. Are you making time for each other in your marriages? How much time? Especially if you have children and you're so busy running around and your husband is coming home, and once upon a time you, the wife, were always there for your husband, and now the baby's occupying so much of your time. Or the other way around, your husband comes home and you, the wife, are waiting for your husband. You're like, when is he going to be here? He said 5 minutes, and let me tell you, 5 minutes for a guy is equal to 30 minutes, okay? So when a guy tells you, I'll be home in 5 minutes, set your alarm clock to 30 minutes. And then after 30 minutes, you'll say, hi, 5 minutes just passed. You're still not home? So that's just a disclaimer for you to know that men and women, very different communications. So that's one thing. So when you are there dating, you made so much time for each other. And now you got married, your husband comes home, and unfortunately it can be the husband, it can be the wife. We're busy with these devices. We are occupied. We're either on the phone, talking to our friend, talking to our siblings, talking to our neighbors, catching up on the workers that we didn't follow up with. And then we're home, and our children are looking at us, and our wife is looking at us, and our husband is looking at us, and we're wondering, hello, I'm here. Pay attention to me. Spend time with me. So number one, to me, if you are not making time for one another, this is the first problem. Now, there's another problem. There's a few other problems. Sometimes the husband, most of the time it's the husband, not as much the wife, doesn't want to come home. They're dreading coming home. They don't feel the need to come home. They want to stay in their car. They want to be on their phone. They want to scroll down. They don't have the desire to come home. And that's when it becomes more of a problem, because we have to figure out why. Why when you were dating, you couldn't wait to see each other, and now You don't even want to see each other. You're dreading it. It's like, oh, I don't want to be home. Oh my God. You know why? And this is not for everybody. In some cases, it can be reversed also. But let's talk from a woman's perspective. Sometimes when the woman is so annoying, constantly nagging, constantly yelling, constantly screaming, does a husband want to come home to such a woman? He doesn't want to come home to such a woman. He doesn't want to be in the house of an environment where he knows he's going to come home and he's going to get attacked. Whether she's going to yell at him because she's exhausted from the children. She has the right to be exhausted. She's exhausted, yes. But it's going to be an attack mode. Or she's going to scream at him because something happened between her and his mother, and she's so pissed off right now, and she doesn't know how to let it out. And what happens? There's an argument. So unfortunately, that can happen too. Or if a woman doesn't want to come into her house because she knows when she comes in, the husband is going to yell at her and attack her about, why did you spend the credit card again? Why did you buy this again? Why didn't you remind me about that again? So if you are not talking to each other in a nice way, and there are people, you are attacking each other or constantly, going at each other, you're not going to form a marriage in which the husband or the wife want to be in your presence. So in order for you to have this nurturing, calm environment, both of you, husband and wife, need to take a deep breath. And it can be so difficult. It can be so hard, especially after a long day. Pause and tell yourself, if I am going to attack, yell, scream, nudge, whine right now, no one is going to be listening. It may look like he's listening. It may look like she's listening, but she's really not listening. She's just responding to me because she wants this to end. So you don't want to form that type of a marriage where your husband and wife are running away, God forbid, from coming into the house. Time is also very important. If you're so busy making time for everybody else and you're not making time for each other, there's no communication. You don't know what's happening in each other's lives. You're not addressing the concerns. You're not talking about your day. You're not sharing the things that you're happy about, that you're proud of, that are bothering you. So time is also important because in order for you to talk, in order for you to communicate, you need the time for each other. And in a world where we're so busy, if we don't schedule a set time, if we don't make it a priority, Monday night at 7:30, we are going out, and you put it onto your calendar. You have to make it a priority. And if your excuse is, I can't, it's very expensive, I have to pay a babysitter, we're on a budget, you don't have to spend money on a restaurant. Even if it means going around the block, especially right now, the weather is so nice, go around the block, walk for 20-30 minutes. You don't have to spend the money. But you need to make time for each other. And that means scheduled time, or else it will not take place. Mariam wrote a very good point. Greet each other with a smile. So sometimes you have every single right to be upset, to be mad, to be annoyed. But as soon as our husband comes home, and I'm guilty of that too. I'm not teaching you this because I'm perfect. I'm teaching you this because I'm educating myself in the process as well. We all have to work on this. When our husband or our wife comes home, we have to learn to greet them with a smile, with happiness, with, oh my God, I'm so happy you're home. Oh my God, I couldn't wait for you to be home. I'm so happy you're safe. How was your day? And inside you're bubbling. You have so much you want to tell them. Your child just pissed you off. You got a phone call from the Rebbe and there's so much happening. Stop. Because right now is not the time to discuss those issues. Let your husband or your wife settle down. Let them eat, because especially to the men, food is very therapeutic. It's very common. It's very calming. It helps them focus and concentrate better. Feed them, make them happy, let them rest for a few minutes. And then when you try to approach them, it's so much easier. It's more receptive. Also, respect, like someone says. We have to be able to respect our partners. We are living in a society, unfortunately, we are living in a society where things have been changing drastically. I'm about equality. Everyone needs to be respected. There's no such thing as he needs respect and she doesn't need respect. Everyone needs to be respected. Equality is great. But just like I posted a question on my Instagram the other day, where the meme said that we cannot be a parent to our children in our generation the way we were a parent to our children in the olden generations, because the world has changed. And I asked my followers, do you agree with the statement? About 70% said yes, we agree. We have to change our parenting skills because the world we live in is different, and therefore we cannot parent our children the way our parents parented us. I agree with that. Now when it comes to marriages, yes, a part of it I agree with. It's a different world. Men are working, women are working. Back in the days, most women did not have to work. It was primarily the men that had to work. Nowadays, men work and women work. Why? Because everything is expensive. We cannot afford a lifestyle with one income. Or women also want to have a career. They want to be out there in the professional world. And all of that is great and it's beautiful. However, there's a but here. We still, as women, and I'm not trying to say that men don't have issues, men have other issues. But right now, as women, talking to women, we also have to understand that if we are working and we have the ability to work, that does not mean that we should put our husbands down. That does not mean that our husband is going to be below us or on the same platform as us. Not because we are not, we're not as good, or because we don't deserve the same respect. We do. But in a healthy marriage where children are watching, it's always good to have someone who is the head of the house only for the purpose of dominance, in a way where we can form a healthy marriage. Now, it doesn't mean that if the man is the head of the house, he's supposed to degrade his wife, abuse her verbally, put her down, make her feel like a rag. No, that's not what it means. What it means is when the wife is respecting her husband and allowing herself to understand, yes, she may be bringing more money to the house, for example. I'm using that as an example. But that doesn't mean she's going to put him down, trash him, call him all kinds of names. That's not what it means. Because if you're going to be degrading your husband, what's going to happen? Your children are going to be observing this. Your children are going to be watching this. And what are you teaching your children? Number one, you're teaching your daughters who are watching you that yes, this is how I'm going to act to my husband when I get married. Of course, this is normal. I'm going to make money. I'm going to earn more than him, and I'm going to work. And then I have every right not to have to cook, not to have to clean, not to have to wash the dishes. Not saying you don't need help. I'm not saying that a husband shouldn't help if he can. But we still, as women, have an obligation as women to perform those tasks. And men should try to help as much as they possibly can, but it's not really their obligation. If we're talking about respecting here, a man's obligation is to provide for his wife, is to shelter her, is to nurture her. That's the man's obligation. So when we are acting in a certain way, we are educating our daughters how to disrespect their husbands. Not only are we educating them that way, we are also teaching our children tomorrow that mom and dad are not on the same platform. You don't have to really listen to the dad because mom doesn't even listen to him. You don't have to listen to the mom because the dad is, there's no communication between both of them. So the children are going to learn that when there's going to be questions or when they need guidance, they can choose whoever they want to go to at any time that fits their benefit. And that is not going to be good at all. Now for the younger couples, I don't think I'm even going to get to this book. I actually thought I'm going to get to this book, but it looks like I have so much to say that I'm probably not even going to get to this book tonight. We may have to do this a different night. For the younger couples, before I go to the younger couples, let me read the other comment. No matter how the world changes, we should prepare our children and give them life experience. That's what we should start with the beginning. Exactly. The world can change as much as it wants to change. But, there's a but, we still have to follow head of the house, respect, communication. All that stays the same way. Now for the younger generation who is getting married. If you're watching me, if you're dating, marriage is the most beautiful thing on this planet. I don't think that I know, again, it could be if you're coming from a broken marriage, if you did not have a good experience, there's exceptions to the rules. Of course, that exists. But for the most part, if you're married and you have tranquility and you have peace in the house, okay, it is the most beautiful thing to be married, to form a family together, to have children together, to be on the same page, to have mutual respect, to have communication. It's beautiful. Now, when you get married, you have to understand, you're not going to be changing your husband, and your husband is not going to be changing you. As much as you think, when I get married, I'm going to change him to do ABC. When I get married, I'm going to change her to do ABC. It's not going to happen. The only person in this world that you're ever having the power to change is yourself. So keep that in mind. You can only change yourself. You can only change your response. You can change how your attitude to certain things, but you're not going to change him and you're not going to change her. In the beginning of every marriage, it is very difficult, and that is normal. The first year of marriage, I say this to everyone, the first year of marriage is one of the most difficult years of marriages. Even though it looks like, how is that possible? We fell in love. It should be the best year of our marriage. It is a very difficult year of marriage. It's normal. You have to be able to fight through it, to go through it, not to expect results overnight. You have to be able to pray, to meditate, to stay patient. Because with time, with communication, with the love and support and the respect that you will give each other, things are going to be better. Now, if you're getting married and you're going to be taking your dirty laundry out of your house and you're going to be sharing that with your mother, with your mother-in-law, with your sister, with your friend, you're not doing the right thing. Things that are happening between you and your husband, you and the wife, it has to remain between the both of you. In order for you to get the proper guidance, you need to go to people who are neutral, who are not in the interest of you, not in the interest of him or her. A neutral person, whether that means going to a rabbi, whether that means going to a marriage counselor or a therapist. You should not take out your dirty laundry and tell your parents or tell your siblings, because once you make up and things are going to get better between the both of you, what's going to happen? Your mother is going to have derogatory feelings about your husband. You already told her so much negativity about him. The next time she sees him, you're in love, you're lovebirds, you're all over each other, you've already made up, you already forgot the situation, totally past that scenario, but your mother remembers it. Your father remembers it. And the next time they face your husband or your wife, you think they're not going to have that uncomfortability, like, how is he treating my son? How is she treating my daughter? They're not going to be the same. So you don't want to air out your problems. As much as you think you need help and you want to vent, you don't vent to your parents about your husband and your wife. You have to keep things private. You want to vent, neutral person who has no interest in any of you, and their only interest is to help the both of you. Number 2, your husband or your wife is not a mind reader. Absolutely not. If you think your husband should come home and he sees a whole bag of garbage, I mean, it's right there in front of his face, and he knows that he has to take the garbage out. It's the only job that you actually tell him to do. You're washing the dishes, you're sweeping, you're mopping, you're taking care of the children, and the only thing you ever ask for him is take out the garbage, please. Especially, Mondays is pickup, Thursdays is pickup, please, just take out the garbage. The husband comes down, he sees the garbage, and you're expecting him to take it out. But guess what? You can't have those expectations. If he remembers, and sometimes they do, great, he's going to take it, tie it, and throw it out. But if you remember, don't test him and expect him and say, let me see if he's going to throw out the garbage. Because if he doesn't throw out the garbage, what's going to be? Now you're going to tell yourself, I knew it. He always does this. And you're going to begin. You always do this. I can't trust you with anything, even the smallest thing in the world. I only asked you to do one thing, and even that you cannot get right. And there's going to be issues. If there's no milk in the house, and your husband saw that there's no milk, and he wasn't even able to make the coffee, he saw there's no milk, and you're thinking, okay, he has a store right next to him. He's definitely going to remember to buy the milk. He comes home, and guess what? There is no milk. And what is going to happen? You see, what do you mean? Don't you live in the same house? You also saw that there was no milk. Why do I have to tell you everything? Because this is the way men are built and women are built. We don't have the same thinking process. If you want your husband to do something, you have to learn to talk to him about it, to communicate to him about it. Because if you don't expect him to remember, to know, to figure it out. It's not going to happen. And you're going to save yourself so much time and frustration if you just tell him how you feel. And the same thing goes for the husband. Don't exaggerate the situations. If she didn't do something, or if she was late to something, or if she didn't address something to your liking, don't exaggerate. Don't start bringing up 150 different things that happened in the past. Don't start saying you're just like your mother, you're just like your sister, you're just like your friend. Don't exaggerate. You're dealing with a situation right now. Focus on this particular situation. Because if you're going to try to bring out all the negative things from 10 years ago, a situation which could have deflated easily right now is going to go out of hand. Because what's going to happen? By accident, you're going to start getting frustrated. You're going to start calling each other all kinds of dumb names. And then what? The situation is going to pass, but you think she's going to forget what you said? You think she's going to so easily go to sleep and hug you and kiss you and smile to you the next day? She's not. Because women are blessed with very good memory. So when you speak, even though sometimes you're very frustrated, you're very tired, you have a lot of things that you just want to blurt out, take a 5-second pause and really think before you say something that you're going to regret. Because a woman is going to remember the words you tell her when you're mad for a very long time. And then what? You're going to wait for each other to apologize. And if it keeps happening over and over again, and by accident you're using very derogatory words, trying to put her down with your words, those apologies are going to be meaningless after a while. So we have to take responsibility for the things that come out of our mouth. And not only that, and this applies to men and women, we have to be careful how we put ourselves down. Meaning, if your husband, I'm using again husband many times as an example because I'm talking from a woman's perspective as a woman. If we're going to belittle our husband and put him down, compare him to other husbands, make him feel like he's not good for anything, do you know what happens to him? His ego is going to completely drop. You may not see this right away. It may not happen right away. It may take time. But if you're constantly putting your husband down, constantly saying, well, look at your friend. Your friend bought her house, and look at your friend. He's able to make so much money. He could take her on vacation. Look at your brother. Look at the gift he bought his wife. Blah, 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 blah. And you're constantly comparing him and putting him down. Eventually, he's going to have that belief by accident because of all the times he was put down. He's not going to believe in himself anymore. He's going to really start internalizing that maybe he is a good for nothing. And the same thing goes for the wife. If you as the husband are constantly putting your wife down and really comparing her to your sister, to your sister-in-law, to her friend, to your mother, and then she's going to start really feeling bad about who she really is. She feels like she's a loser. She cannot please you in any way, no matter how much she tries. And eventually she's going to internalize those words by accident, because the more we hear something, the more we internalize it. Her self-esteem is going to go down. His self-esteem is going to go down. And then what? We're going to start to wonder after years, well, why didn't he buy me the house I wanted? Why wasn't he as successful as the other person across the street? Why is my wife or husband, not as capable as I thought they would be? Maybe because over the years, all the times that you're putting each other down, it's going to get internalized. And this is the reason. By accident, you may be causing the problem without noticing it. But when you inspire, encourage, uplift, support one another, even if you know it's maybe not possible, she may not succeed in the college that she's in, you just don't see it really deep down, or that he's going to quit his job, he's quit 10 jobs before, and that you just don't really believe it, but you work so hard to say, I'm going to fight that, I'm going to encourage him, I'm going to uplift him, I'm going to give him some boost. Guess what? The more you encourage, the more you boost, the more you compliment, the more you uplift, you're going to cause, with your own positivity, you're going to cause your husband and wife to really believe in themselves as well. And then years pass, and you know what? You're going to have a husband or a wife who's going to be that rock, who's going to be the rock and the foundation of your house, simply because all these years you were there to support them, to encourage them, to boost them up, to compliment them. So this topic, again, is learning for all of us. We all need to work on it, but it's been going completely out of hand. There are so many divorces and people having issues and people having problems. And it can happen to anybody. It can happen whether you just got married. It can happen whether you're married for 30 years. The question is why? No one really, I don't know if we can answer 100% why it's happening so much, but if I was to speculate one of the reasons, if I was to guess, I would say number one reason is social media. Why specifically social media? Because there are people that don't have social media. So maybe the answer is not social media, the phone, not social media, the phone. The phone has come to make us realize that everything can happen with the click of a button. Everything is fast. Everything is like this. And you know what? When our phone is not working as fast as we want it to work, what happens? We're annoyed. Oh my God, something's wrong with this phone. I'm going to break it right now. We start restarting. We start going crazy. Marriage is not like this. Marriage is not like a phone. We cannot just click a button and expect our spouse, poof, to change overnight. Expect these results. Expect that house. Expect that fancy car. Expect them to understand, just like the phone. You see, ChatGPT can answer all your problems. Even if you search for something and then you go back and all of a sudden the phone knows exactly what you want. All the commercials are going to be based on what you were searching for. It's a mind reader. Our husband or our wife is not like your phone. It takes a lot of patience, dedication, hard work. You're not belittling yourself if you are sometimes stooping down. You have to, all of us have to work on our egos. We have to work on our humbleness. Because when we are humble, when we don't have an ego, we're not going to be so hurt right away. Oh, what did she tell me to do? To wash the dishes? Well, I have to wash the dishes. I'm a guy. Humble. Ego. So, okay. So you wash the dishes. So what? Is something going to happen? Okay, if you can't wash the dishes, compromise. I'll go put the kids to sleep. I don't really do well with dishes. I have like hand issues and my hands get very dry, or whatever the story is, compromise. But when we have an ego and we think we're so superior to everything, how dare she talks to me like that? How dare he talks to me like that? I'm not doing it anymore. No. Humble. Lower the ego. Learn to give in. Learn to apologize. People are going to sleep without talking to each other for months. How do you do that? I can't even, I mean, again, I don't want to bring my personal life, but for me to understand that it's so difficult to go to sleep day after day after day, just not talking to each other. Forget about children. You may not even have children. You may be newly married or your kids are already married off. It doesn't do good for any of you. All this negativity is piling up and then you're like, oh, why do I need him in my life? I didn't talk to him for the past month. I'm totally fine without him. We have to learn to apologize. Sometimes even when it's not our fault, not because we're losers, but because somebody has to give in. And when you give in, and when you discuss it, and the situation is now mellowed out, that's the time to talk it out and to communicate and to say, you know, when we did this, it didn't work for us. We have to find a different way to go about it. That's when the ears are going to be receptive and there's listening, because now you are there for each other. You're not there just for yourselves. So I hope this was helpful. We didn't get to the book. Very important. I highly encourage you to buy this book. It's called 10 Minutes a Day for a Better Marriage. But I think we were able to cover a lot of ground. Next time, if you're interested, comment below and we can cover the book. It's a very interesting book. Today's lesson was actually supposed to be how to be an effective listener. You know, by the way, listening is a skill. We can hear people, we can listen to people, but we have to know how. So this was a chapter I was going to discuss, how to be an effective listener. Maybe we can do it next time. For those of you, again, who are joining, I keep repeating this, it's super important. I put a link to my Instagram account. Please go and follow. On Monday, I will be having an amazing episode with Michelle Jacobs. It's going to be a crazy episode. I'm going to be posting another box that's going to ask you to send me your anonymous questions that I will be asking on that live, pertaining to intimacy, love, identity of ourselves. It's going to be coming from a medical perspective because both of us are physician assistants. It's going to be coming from a medical, emotional perspective. I also post different type of content on my Instagram page. I'm not sure when, but at some point I will be, slowly backing away from Facebook. I'm not going to be here as much because of the way Facebook is doing their platform. They're deleting lives after a month. It's just the algorithms are changing. It's getting very frustrating to keep up with it. So I'm trying to go to the Instagram side. So you may not see me as often on Facebook, and I don't want you to miss out and to interact with me on my other platforms. So please go there and join. Before I go, anybody have any comments or feedbacks? Or do you want to say something to me while I'm alive? I always like to read your comments while I'm on air. Because I get to address them and I get to, read them out. So let me wait for 2 minutes in case you want to tell me something, share something, ask something. I'm on for the next minute or so. Okay, and by the way, you should all know that I'm always very inspired by the comments and the feedback. I don't necessarily get a chance to respond to everyone. It's just overwhelming if I'm gonna go respond to everyone. But the stuff that you guys tell me, comment privately or on air, it really, really means a lot. I want you to know that when I go to my events, when I do the Challah events and I meet you in person, it's almost like you know, we have a family. We don't know each other, but we know each other, and it's so, so beautiful, so nice to see you come up, introduce yourselves. It's really, really a pleasure. It means so much, and I love interacting and seeing you in person. So it doesn't look like anyone is going to have any comments before I go. But if you found this video to be helpful, please feel free to share it with others. And if you enjoy these type of topics, or if you have any other topics in mind that you think we can discuss, Zalman, you are too funny. Some men think that love starts in bed. What are your thoughts on that? Well, first of all, that's the things that we're going to be discussing, which is totally... See, people don't realize that there is love, and then there is... What is that called? When you are not in love with someone, but there's with an I. See, I can't remember right now. It's like the teenage love, or, you know, the young adult love, that you don't really know what love really is. You see him for his looks. You see him for his charisma. Oh, he opened the door for me. Oh my God, he bought me flowers. Oh, he remembered it's my birthday. And then you start, you know, the physical things, and people don't realize that's not love. Love happens when a person is giving themselves to you in the most difficult times of your life. When you go through something, raising children or having something difficult, or, you know, when you give of yourself to someone else, you're always doing, you're helping, you're cooking, you're cleaning. Oh, lust. Yes, Yelena. Lust. Thank you so much. It's lust. Love and lust. Thank you. When you're giving of yourself to the other person, that's when you really love. Infatuation. Yes, thank you. Great, girls. You see, you remember these things. It's hard to remember when you're on live. All of a sudden, things are just boom, they pop out of your head. So I appreciate it. So when you really, what is actual love? Love is not being in bed with someone. Absolutely not. It's not kissing, hugging. Oh, I love you. And that's why, by the way, interesting point, you know, not everybody would agree with me. I don't believe personally that if you are outside and you're so hugging and kissing and you're all over each other, great, beautiful. That's, you know, that's your interpretation of a healthy marriage. But then you may look at a couple like that and say, oh my God, they're so in love with each other. My husband never does this to me. My wife never does this to me. This is not what love really is. They might love each other. I'm not saying that these people don't love each other, but that's not the definition of love. Love is really what goes on in your house. What will you do for each other? How much will you sacrifice for one another? That's what love is defined as for me personally. So if you don't feel comfortable going all this, you know, physical outside, you're normal. There's nothing wrong with that. You may feel comfortable holding each other's hands. Nothing wrong with that if that's your comfort level. But if you don't feel like that's your definition or translation to what love means for you, you don't have to. There's no, the society normalized love. Definition of love is, you're hugging each other, you're kissing her, you're dancing with her, and if you don't do that, oh, you don't love me. That's not what love is. Okay, Angela, let's see what you wrote. Beautiful, beautiful, helpful. You're doing this amazing job that you do by talking to everybody, giving some knowledge. Totally agree with everything that you said. God bless you and your family. Thank you so much, Angela. That's such a sweet comment. I really, really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. So thank you so much for that beautiful comment and encouragement. You know, as much as we think that these comments are like, oh, why do I have to tell her? You don't get it. Every person, and this is another example of marriage, don't think your wife or husband knows they look good, especially the wife, right? The woman. She's dressed up, she looks so beautiful, she's wearing this nice dress, and she can't wait for her husband to come home and notice it, and he's gonna notice it, but she's waiting for that, wow, you look stunning, I love that color on you. And then he doesn't say it because he thinks, why do I have to tell her? She knows she looks good. No, tell her. Tell her that she looks good. She wants to hear it. It's important. People want to hear good things. People want compliments. People want to know that they look good, that they're doing a good job, that they're impressing you. Why? Because it gives them this inner self of confidence. The more you do it, the more confident your spouse is going to be. Same thing with your husband. He worked. Yes, it's his job to work. And you think, okay, why should I tell him? He knows. No, you have to tell him, I'm so proud of you. You're helping me pay the bills. Wow, I'm so proud of you. You're always helping me with the children. You're always helping me in the kitchen. You're always helping me around the house. I mean, I have to work on that too. But in general, we can't expect people to know, oh, they know, it's their job. We have to stop, compliment, praise, encourage. Because when we're going to do that, you're going to see how much more your wife is going to want to get dressed up for you. She's going to cook for you. Oh, wow, the food is so delicious. May your hands, I don't think anybody can cook like you. Look how much she's going to want to cook for you after that. Same thing for your husband. Wow, you're such a handyman. You do so much around the house. I'm so lucky to marry you. I don't think anybody has a husband like mine. Imagine we start to learn to be this way. Wow. Then we're going to have absolutely no issues with our marriage. Our marriages are going to be like superb and flourish. And listen, it's not a dream. We can, it takes work. It takes a lot of work to keep that in mind. Sometimes by accident, we're so busy, we kind of like, not on purpose, we don't recognize that, oh shoot, I forgot to compliment, I forgot to encourage, I forgot to say thank you, because that's so important. But we should. And if it means putting in our kitchens, reminders and just like putting different quotes and sayings so that we can get better at it. Or even on your alarm clock. Here, I just thought of this idea. Right on your alarm clock, like a timer, okay? Like 1 o'clock, 1 p.m. Everyone do this right now, 1 p.m. Remind my husband, remind my wife how much I love her. Or text my wife or text my husband, thank you so much for being there for me. I'm so blessed to have you. Let the alarm ring tomorrow at 1 p.m. Okay, so you're following? Tomorrow at 1 p.m. your alarm is going to ring because you have to sometimes set these reminders, and it's going to say, text your husband or text your wife to remind him or her how lucky you are to have them. Boom. You text them, they're sitting at work, they're totally unexpecting such a text, and they see this, wow, you made their day. And they're going to say, what happened to you? Did you like fall off and bang your head? They're going to be shocked. Don't worry, it doesn't matter. Why are you asking me questions? You see, I said something nice to you. Let's leave it at that. They're going to be setting you up for a date night tomorrow. So try that out. My husband says, I think it's hard to give too many compliments in the Bukharian community because we are raised differently. Okay, we are raised differently. This is why we have to adjust to the times that we live in now. We shouldn't have been. I don't see anything wrong with Bukharian or Ashkenaz or Moroccan or Syrian. What's wrong with giving each other compliments? There is a phrase in Bukharian, o bolomero, which means what? If you give her too many compliments, or if you give him too many compliments, oh, bolomero, she's going to sit on your head. This is such a stupid mentality. Why would you feel that if you say a nice word, they're going to go on your head? Why? If you were told something nice, you would feel so, wow, he recognized, he realizes. Nobody says, be a shmata, be a mop, and constantly suck up, and that's not what we're talking about. We're saying compliment, praise, encourage, say thank you. This should be done, and this mentality of bolomero needs to be out. It doesn't exist anymore. It's not healthy. There's no benefit to it. It doesn't bring any good, and we need to demonstrate even to our children that this is normal, this is beautiful. When they see their parents are so in love, they're always complimenting, respecting each other. This is a healthy household. And it's good for everyone, Absolutely, I agree. It's going to lift you up. Thank you so much, Elena. I'm trying, work in progress. But with all of your help, it helps me too. So This was a very interesting discussion. As always, I'm still trying to bring my husband. Trying to bring him onto the show. I said to him, do you want to join me today? No, he doesn't want to. So maybe one day, I will keep praying. I will be positive. Zalman, you would be so great if you join me on one of these episodes. Not there, like here, come here. So maybe one day we're gonna get my husband here to share his side of the story, his perspective of a husband, and it's not gonna be me that's doing all the talking. So that's something that hopefully one day we will get. Join me on Instagram. Hope to see you there for my Monday live edition. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you for joining. As soon as I can press the exit now button, since the phone is not letting me do that, I will. Oh, there we go. Have a